Hey, welcome back everybody to Game 2 of Sparkyz versus Samsung Khan, and Lita taking a ridiculously epic game against Firebat Hero in Game 1 is putting Sparkyz in a somewhat uncomfortable position of being ahead in a match for once. So we're going to see how we play with the lead now. And we're coming up, and this is going to be an interesting...
Horang2 does not look happy about having the lead. I think he just looked at the stat and he's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was a priceless face by Horang2 for sure. So anyways, this matchup is going to be Horang2 against Stork on match point, and Stork, you know, once again, being a Sparkyz fan, Sparkyz is such a creative, you might say cheesy team that, let's see, sorry, they're going to show the colors here. I forgot to write this down, so I'm going to make sure to check it. Okay, so that's Horang2 in the northeast in the yellow, which means that Stork is going to be in the southwest in red. But what I was saying is, like, Sparkyz is such a, you know, interesting team. They do a lot of interesting builds, and that makes them sort of wildly inconsistent at times. So I'm a little bit jealous of Stork, just because Stork is just really solid. He's so good consistently. You know, famously known for having like, I don't know, 38 silver medals. That's obviously exaggeration, but finally getting his
400 silver medals.
Could be. I haven't checked all the minor tournaments. Finally getting a championship in the in-crew at OSL in 2008, which was very good for him. I was happy for him, and he actually pulled out some ridiculous cheese in that along that series, particularly against Best. That's one of my favorite PvP series of all times, is Stork versus Best in the in-crew at OSL. You should check that out if you haven't seen it. Anyways, Horang2 is, you know, he's a crazy man though, so I wouldn't put it past Horang2, and he's really good against versus Protoss. He was just amazing. I think like 8-1 last year against Protoss, largely for him being crazy. Part of him being crazy is last year, or excuse me, not last year, this season, in the 9-10 season, Horang2 has gone for 2 port carriers on this, or excuse me, two base carriers. I'm stuck on Lita for a minute. Sorry, 2 base carriers twice on this map. One of those times was a huge success. One of them was not so much. But I'm kind of expecting him to pull out something a little bit cheesy, just because Stork is so good fundamentally. You know, he might need to do something. And so far, you know, 1 gateway into Cybercore. It looks like quick tech, maybe an early expansion, but I kind of doubt it. But yeah, so far both players one gate tech. Any predictions on this?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen Stork play. I have seen him in a dinosaur costume though, and he did look pretty fearsome. So, you know, these PvP matches, from what I've seen, there tend not to be too many momentum shifts. Maybe there's 1 or 2, and you've really got to set a solid foundation to last well into it. And the way that I've seen Horang2 play, you know, with his wild carriers, I don't know. I don't think it's looking from the outset. I don't think I'm going to be positive. I'm not going to be negative, but I'm just going to stay neutral. How about that?
It's dangerous, that's for sure. You know, but still, I'm certainly not going to count Horang2 out of this matchup. You know, if he can do something crazy, then maybe he can get a win. If Stork has a seizure, that's another good option.
You can always, you know, throw your pot in with that and hope for the best.
I don't think I've ever
non-fatal seizure.
You're right. We don't want any harm to Stork. We really do like him. I really do like him. And it looks like robotics facility going down for Horang2 off of his 1 base so far, so pretty standard. We'll see if he decides to go aggressively and go for Reavers first. That's something that actually Stork has done quite a few times. He has the confidence that against a lot of players, he's not going to get cheesed. And actually, Stork has not put down a robotics facility yet. He might be saving up for maybe a Nexus, or maybe he's going... I'm not entirely sure. So Horang2 actually, since he did finally kill that scout and put down that early robotics facility, yeah, and it is going to be a Nexus there for Stork. So this could be the advantage that Horang2 needs right here. Is an early expansion compared to some early Reavers, and hopefully he will, I'm hoping he's going to put down his robotic support bay first before observers. He's got at least a somewhat decent scout before his probe died. Yes, and he is going for robotic support bay. I was going to say he probably knows that DTs aren't coming from Stork, so he doesn't really need the observers. And so, you know, hopefully he's going to get a lot of damage done with this very early Reaver.
Yes, so far it's you know, you can tell both players want to play sort of with later game tech. You're not even seeing any little pushes. I guess it's a sign of respect from both players. Yeah. Let's see what the tech says. Kind of chilling so far. A lot of gateways coming down from Stork.
Yeah, second and third going down.
You got to imagine a lot of goons coming out of those guys. There's our dropship.
Yeah, so the first shuttle is out. The cybernetics core is spinning, which
that's got to be range, right?
I mean, you know, maybe he delayed range to get that early robotics facility up. That's a possibility. It seems a little late for range. I would have thought he would have had it by now. But so maybe it's air armor 1 for his shuttle. Maybe he's planning on going for a carrier switch after this Reaver, but that seems very unlikely, especially off of just one base. He hasn't even you know, made any attempt to go out and act like he's putting down expansion. Maybe he will right now as he's starting to put on some pressure, sending some Dragoons up to the north in sort of a hidden route, I would say. You know, there's a lot of parallel paths on this map, and that one to the north is one that, you know, Stork might not be expecting. He is going to see it with that probe that dies, but he does not see this Reaver that is coming out, and this Reaver could be the difference. Stork has got to focus down this shuttle if he wants to have any damage done, and that shuttle is actually critically hurt, and it might go down. Oh no, this Reaver might go down, but he has taken out all of the Dragoons. Only 3 Dragoons left, 2 Dragoons left now for Stork, so Horang2 taking a big advantage, but losing that Reaver a little bit carelessly, I think. If he had placed that Reaver behind his Dragoons, he might have been able to keep that alive longer, and if it was alive now, it could be getting dozens of probe kills by each little Scarab.
So a little haphazard placement sort of ruins the whole day. I mean, it was a failed attack, certainly, but it was a neutralized attack.
Yeah. And, you know, honestly, I think that Stork has probably gained quite a bit of momentum right now, just because he has his natural expansion up and running, and the only harassment that was done was having to bring those probes off the line for just, you know, 5 seconds or something. And in the meantime, you know, Horang2 lost a shuttle and a Reaver and, you know, maybe 6 Dragoons at the same time, so that is a pretty sizable force to, you know, only kill 8 Dragoons of your own.